this is the story that you're hoping I was going to tell probably. I've bitten the end off before I've even paid for it. Oh, 100%. That's not a Christmas tree.
No?
It's a plastic thing with Tipp-Ex on the ends of it to look like snow.
That just been my last Eternal Sunshine question.
Go on. I don't believe you, but okay. Carrie, I'm making a birdhouse.
I quoted that to him on his podcast. He didn't
remember.
It. Actually, I've got one more question. But
okay, go on.
You're right. That was the story we were hoping.
Welcome, Kate, to the Dream Restaurant.
Oh, it's very nice to be here.
Welcome, Kate Winslet, to the Dream Restaurant. But it's been you for some time. Kate, my throat is like knackered, and I was really worried about doing that bit. And I've got to shout again later on.
Have you?
You must have good like throat tips as like an
throat
actor.
tips?
Yeah, to like,
I don't think actors call it throat tips.
I don't know if they do call it throat tips, but then what would we call it? Training? I didn't have any training, so I don't know.
Vocal training?
No, I've never done any of that. I've never done any of that stuff. You just sort of make it up as you go along.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, look after your voice. What if you're doing a film and your voice goes like this? You must be like, I need some sugar.
I just don't know. I mean, I wish I could tell you that I had all these like clever things I do, but I really don't.
You just make it part of the character.
You sort of have to just you just have to kind of go with the flow. I don't know. I mean, you have to look after yourself because the hours are really intensely long, but not shouting at people always helps. And I certainly don't do any of that. So
yes, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
What of all your roles is the most amount of shouting you had to do on camera?
Oh my God! So I played a character called Elena Vernon, and she was a sort of a fictional chancellor in a fictional country, and she was pretty vile, and she did a lot of screaming at people. Yeah, so that was pretty hilarious. I actually did kind of quite love it as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was the film?
It was a TV series for HBO called The Regime. And it was my foray into comedy, and I just absolutely loved it. She was outrageous and vile, and treated people very badly.
It's nice to have a sort of sanctioned reason to do that, right? You can just have a good old scream at people.
Well, I've never really played a character like that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, this is something new. I like to kind of mix it up and take risks and do things that might be a little bit unexpected, hopefully,
Yeah.
Got to stay in the game. Keep getting invited back to the party, so hopefully that will continue because I do love it.
It's crazy because in the really early days, so yesterday, just coincidentally, there was this thing came up on my algorithm of James Cameron talking about all of his films, and he talked about casting you in Titanic and the whole Corset Kate thing before that, which I didn't know about that. Because for me now, that seems bananas. That you would have been called that or that, because you've done so many different things.
Yeah, well,
it was the first time I'd heard it.
Well, people do like labels, and I think starting out in some of those great early things I was able to do, like Sense and Sensibility and things like that. People do like to sort of pigeonhole actresses, and they don't really like it if you step outside of that framework that they have chosen that you're going to exist in, and so. No, I'm weird. Corset Kate doesn't make any sense.
And you were so young at the time. I think it's a lot of jealousy from other people.
Probably
giving you a nickname like that. But then,
probably.
I just think for me, you're just someone who's always done so many different things. Yeah. It's really weird to watch that and go when did that happen? I
know, it's bizarre. I think something that helped me kind of move beyond that was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I remember thinking, this could be good. I could be stepping outside of that and doing something completely wild and different. And that whole experience actually of making Eternal Sunshine was so amazing. I mean, Michel Gondry, who directed it, he's just avant-garde and funny and bonkers, and it was a great experience. I loved playing that character.
There's a lot of improvisation in that film.
I'm glad you've brought this film up, Kate, because I had to message James when we confirmed that you're coming in and say, don't only talk about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, because he will talk about it for a whole episode with a guest who's not been involved in the film at all.
Oh, so, it is a good one. Why he's gone quiet?
Yeah, because he's excited. He can't wait.
It's my favourite film.
We can talk about it as much as I love talking about it. I mean, it was an amazing shoot, and there was a lot of improvising. I remember there was one night when I was at home asleep, And it was 2:00 in the morning, and the phone rang, and it was Michel Gondry, and he was like, "You have to come, you have to come." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "There is this circus is coming into town, and they have all this elephant, all these elephants. They are coming down Fifth Avenue. You have to come." I said, "Okay, when are we doing that?" He said, "Now is happening. Now, right now. You have to get in the cab, and you have to." I was like, "Oh my God!" And of course, you get in a cab, and of course, you turn up, and then improvise an entire scene with a load of elephants coming down Fifth Avenue. And it was really amazing. And that's one of the lovely things about making films, is that sometimes you do get to work with people who are brave enough to do these kind of crazy things.
But thank God it was a great film, right? Because imagine if it was just a crazy guy and the film was awful.
Yeah.
Like, get up at 2:00, come and improvise with these elephants.
I know. Well, it was all a bit of a mad risk, but that's what life's about, I think, isn't it?
Well, let's talk about your latest film, because you're directing this as well. Your debut as a director.
Yeah.
Goodbye, June.
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of sadness for a Christmas film, and I like that.
But you say that. I mean, you say that, and the thing is, it is also, though, it is very warm, and there's a lot of humour, and I think it's just such a real and relatable story about family, really. I mean, it's less about a woman who's sort of slipping away, and much more about a family coming together because of that event. And I think it doesn't matter what family looks like to you. We all have to deal with loss at some point in our lives. And actually, I think in this country, we're not very good at dealing with it and talking about that stuff. And I remember when my own mum passed away, sitting with my dad and thinking, what do we do now? And actually Googling coffins. Like, how do you, and there's no manual for any of it. And so, I don't know, there's something about the kind of messy navigation that this family of disparate people has to process in order to kind of come to terms with A, what's happening, but B, how they're all going to stick together and put aside past grievances and make it okay. And there's something to me that's just very, very real and human about that.
Totally. Those discussions don't... Is it something British, do you think? Because, like, I've been in those situations before where, like, my mum or someone will go, "Well, here's what I want," and then you go, no, we don't talk about that sort of thing. We don't need to. That's you're bumming me out now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a British thing or just, is it a culture? Is it a Western thing? I mean, I think when you look at other cultures, there are so many ways in which they process loss, and even letting that person go, and what they then do afterwards. And I just think in this country, there's a very standard way of dealing with when you lose a parent or a loved one in particular. And I don't know. I think, I don't know, making something that perhaps ignites a bit of conversation around that stuff, I think it's helpful.
How was directing for the first time? Because obviously you've worked with some incredible directors. Did you draw techniques and little tips from them, the people you'd worked with across the years?
I mean, wake everyone up at midnight.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't wake anyone. Definitely didn't wake anyone.
There's an elephant at the hospital.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not falling for this again.
I honestly loved every single second of it. I loved being with the actors. I loved all the prep. I loved every day of the shoot. I never wanted it to finish. I loved sort of pulling people together and creating a story that, felt resonant and humorous and warm, and even the edit and the sound mix and the music and all of it. I loved every second of it. And I think I have been lucky. I have worked with some incredible people, and, some directors are really all about the actors and others are more about the visual side of things, and perhaps don't necessarily have the language available to them to be able to communicate something with an actor. And I think, having learned a lot over this 33 years of this career that I've been so lucky to have, I've certainly observed and felt myself, what is helpful to an actor and what simply isn't, and could actually kind of fuck people up.
Yeah.
And so staying away from the things that I know don't work was something that I kept at the forefront of my mind.
The cast is bananas.
Bananas.
Like every character that walks on the screen, you're like, oh my God, it's another national treasure.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I know, it's funny. We just thought only of, when I say we, I mean myself and Joe Anders, the writer, who happens to be my son, but he so didn't really believe that I was serious that we could turn this into a film, this script that he had written, having never written a screenplay before. I kept saying to him, right, okay, let's sit down. We're going to put together our just dream list of people who would play these parts, which crew we would go to and everything. And we came up with this list of extraordinary actors, and we never thought that really any of them were going to say yes, and they all did.
Yeah.
So the trick then was casting people of that caliber in these amazing roles and making them disappear and making it feel like a family. And I think a lot of that is helped by the brilliant children that we had.
I was going to say as well, like on top of all of these incredible actors, you've got quite a lot of children involved in the production as well.
7 kids, which I was never, actually it was 8 because the 6-month-old baby was identical twin girls. But I've never been afraid of working with children, and actually as an actress I've always really loved it. And interestingly, back to that thing of like how other directors handle things, a lot of directors are scared of how do you direct children. And the reality is you can't really teach a child, unless they're very gifted, you can't really teach a child how to act. You can just encourage them to be. And so I did spend a lot of time trying to work out how I could create an environment that the children just sort of felt like they were all on a play date with their friends. And so that started with, we have 2 5-year-olds in the film. And one of those children is a little boy with Down syndrome, beautiful little boy named Ben Shortland. And Ben's character was actually called Benji. And it was just really fortunate that we found this child. So I never had to teach him how to think of himself as a different name, because that probably just would have been too many things for him to have processed. And so I thought, well, hold on a second. This is a great strength. We've got this gift. We have this child whose name is Ben. Everyone else should just think of themselves as their character names. And so all of the children, I just very gently said, particularly to my 2 teenagers, I said, look, let's just all call ourselves in our character names. And that's what the children did. They introduced each other to one another as the characters that they were. So there was never any A, confusion, but B, it meant that when we were on set and in this sort of very playful environment, they were completely off script and would be calling each other in character names, and everything then therefore for me was totally usable. And when I never forget an extraordinary thing, I thought, my God, this really did work. When the little boy who plays Tybalt, we all still call him Tibby, his name is actually Elias, but when I walked him onto set to meet Helen Mirren for the first time, she started a couple of weeks into our shoot and we were already into a flow, and she was there in the hospital room, and I said, do you know who that lady is? And I full on absolutely thought he was going to say, that's Dame Helen Mirren or the Queen or something like that. And he said, yes, that's Nana June.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. And my work is done.
Yeah.
And so it just meant that I was able to roll the cameras without the children knowing. And we as adult actors would be established in a state of make-believe that they would just fold into and follow along. So it was really about playing for them. And that definitely helped in terms of bringing the joy, because children bring the joy. And in everything, in every situation in life. And it made a really big difference in terms of just them feeling relaxed and being able to improvise very freely. With the children, we pretty much abandoned any scripted lines. And I would say, don't learn anything, please. And they'd be like, what? You know, the older ones particularly, having been very studious and learned all of their dialogue really well. And I said, and please make lots of mistakes. We love mistakes. Okay, go. And they were like, mistakes? Because then it's just giving them permission to be really free, and all of those lovely natural things that they came out with were captured and made it into the film.
And I mean, are you ready for this to like be brought up to you once a year when it's Christmas time? Like, I mean, you got that with the holiday already.
I still get it with the holiday.
Yeah. So now you're going to get 2.
I just have no idea. I mean, it's such an amazing feeling that we even made the film, and so special to have gone through this with my son. You know, he's always written all of his life. I mean, our fridge is still covered in poetry that he wrote when he was 7 or 8 years old. And so I think it didn't really surprise me that he declared that he was thinking about maybe writing scripts, and he got a place on a film writing course at the National Film and Television School and was asked to write a screenplay. And he was encouraged, write what you know. And so he took inspiration from the most significant thing that happened in his life, which was the loss of his grandmother when he was a teenager, my mum. And he was so struck by how everyone in this huge family of ours was able to come together, and just geographically how unusual that was to all be in this same space. And we gave her a really great passing that frankly she could only have dreamt of. And he remembers thinking, my God, we're all here because we all somehow came from this one woman. And he took that as his emotional backdrop, and from there created this fictional story about a fictional family who are going through the same thing. It was amazing, really. It was such if I never get to do it again, I just feel so proud, actually, that in this 50th year of my life, when it is much harder, I think, for actresses to transition into directing than it is for our male counterparts, I just feel really, really proud that we've done it, and we're very proud of the film.
We always start with still sparkling water on the podcast with your dream meal. I'm tempted, though, because we've already bought up Eternal Sunshine, to start with dessert and go backwards and forget each one as we go on.
That's fine. I think we should do that. It's good to mix it up.
Benito looks absolutely gutted.
He doesn't want us to do it, so we won't do it. But just so you know, if I have things my way...
Yeah,
all right.
What I'd do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still a sparkling water. Okay.
It's going to be still.
Yeah.
Still every time, yeah. I don't like bubbles with my meal. I feel like my stomach starts to feel full before the food's gotten there, and I want my stomach to be full of food.
Yes,
I
that's
don't
fair
want it
enough.
to be full of bubbles. Unless it's champagne, in which case it's a whole other conversation.
Sure.
Oh my God, I'm really sounding like a wanker now. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
We've had much bigger wankers on the podcast, don't you worry, Kate?
Yeah. Us too.
Yeah, us too for a start. You're dealing with 2 wankers to start with.
No,
When we did our menus, Jesus.
Yeah.
Disagree.
We've done our dream menus, and basically we do it every 100 episodes. And basically you can plot the timeline of how much more pretentious we've become every couple of years. This guy he was salt of the earth when we started this podcast. Total wanker now.
Covered in Michelin stars.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Is there a particular still water you would like? Is it bottled? Is it tap? If it's tap, where's it from?
I don't know. I have to say, I do usually go tap. Just because I don't like plastic or even glass wastage if you don't have to have it. So yeah, I'm often the one who says, "Oh, tap's fine."
Straight out the tap.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Where's got the best tap water in the world?
Oh my God, that is asking. I don't know really. Probably Cornwall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Although a lot of Cornish people, I'm sure, would beg to differ, because rumour has it there's apparently quite a lot of tin in Cornish water from all the tin mining from years ago.
Really?
Apparently so. I really have no idea if that's true or not. It's pure speculation, and I'm sure my publicist is sitting somewhere going, please don't keep that in.
Maybe you've just got a taste for tin.
Yeah, because if you like
Yeah, maybe.
If you like the tin water,
Maybe.
then maybe it must do something for you, right?
Yeah, if it's your dream
doubt
meal,
it.
if you like, we can add some extra tin to the water.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
really
know. I don't know
get
if
the
I want
tin
that to
level up.
happen to me. I don't know if I want to have added tin. I'm not sure how I feel about added tin, actually.
Extra tin.
We'll get you the Cornish water though, and we'll test it for tin beforehand, just to
All
make
right.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll filter it or something.
Poppadoms or bread? Poppadoms or bread, Kate Winslet? Poppadoms or bread?
Quite loud.
Yes.
Bread. Definitely.
Was a bit
Always,
loud, wasn't it?
every time.
Yeah.
Love bread. Love it. Oh my God. Love it. Especially with butter, thick butter. Love.
How thick are we talking in terms of proportion to the bread?
Well, if it was a piece of cheddar cheese, just imagine the thickness of that slice. And
Yeah.
that would probably be the thickness of the butter that I'd put on the bread.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think, when I'm in public, I'll have to just calm myself down with the amount of butter I'm putting on stuff.
I sometimes feel actually I have to slightly hide it from people,
Yeah,
especially
totally.
if I'm in America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, particularly LA, where people are not too crazy about the amount of fat that they eat. But I quite like eating fat,
It was delicious.
especially in the form of slabs of butter.
Yeah.
It brings me great joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, on warm, crusty bread. Oh.
At home, all bets are off for me. At home, I'm just standing up in the kitchen, thicker butter than the bread.
Sometimes I love breadsticks, and sometimes I will just stand with a packet of breadsticks and just stab it straight into the butter and scrape it off.
That's good.
Love it.
Shove it in.
And you're standing as well. I like that. There's no time to sit down and enjoy it.
No,
Just
no.
get in there.
Yeah, just get in there. Absolutely.
That could be your bread course if you're. We can add some breadsticks if you like.
That would be nice, actually.
You just put a big
I'd
thing of
appreciate
butter on
that.
your table.
Yeah, that's it.
You've got your warm, crusty bread
Yeah.
and
And
breadsticks.
breadsticks, yeah.
And you can just go between the two of them, sitting, standing.
Which I would. I would very much go between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids would be fighting me for it.
And we're talking like a baguette kind of bread, or?
Oh God, you can't go wrong with a baguette, can you? I actually remember when we were little, my family never really had any money, so holidays were usually driving in cars, and usually it would be a second-hand car that was borrowed from somebody because we were a family of 6, but our car was never ever big enough. So, and I do remember holidays where we'd get on the ferry Dover to Calais and then drive through France and camp, and it was absolutely brilliant. And it would always be the middle of the night ferry at sort of 3 a.m. because it was the cheapest, and I think at one point kids could go for like £1. And I remember going into tiny French markets and just being over the moon.
Yeah.
And my mum would be able to, get us all a huge French stick, and we'd split it between us, and heaven, the best.
That's great.
It is. We always ask this question on the pod when baguettes come up, but if you're buying a baguette, you're taking it home, are you biting the end off before you get home?
I've bitten the end off before I've even paid for it. 100%. It's gone.
Yeah.
I get strange looks from the women on the checkout. Yeah.
Your dream starter.
Okay, so my dream starter, and I have thought long and hard about this, it's going to have to be, I think, a sort of a pasta with truffle and a big mound of shaved parmesan on the top, which I think is probably controversial, the amount of parmesan. But the reason I have opted for that is that when I was in my early 20s living in North London, and Titanic had come out, and my this is the story that you're hoping I was going to tell probably, and my life changed overnight in many, many, many great ways, but in also some ways that were quite alarming for Kate from Reading, who never expected to be a famous person anyway, and I suddenly couldn't go out. I mean, I really couldn't leave the house, whether it was photographers there or just fans, or it was mad, and this was just my little 2-bedroom flat in N7. My neighbours, who I got to know very quickly and were very, very kind, were Giorgio and Plaxi Locatelli. And Giorgio Locatelli, wonderful, very well-known, highly regarded Italian chef.
Yep.
And at that point, he ran a restaurant in South London, but he didn't have his own restaurant. So he wasn't the Giorgio Locatelli of who he then later became. And they saw very quickly that I couldn't go out. So their concern was, how's she going to be able to go to Waitrose? We have to feed her. And so they would call me and they'd say, okay, so listen, Giorgio's just come back from work and he's managed to bring back some leftovers or some extras or whatever it was. And there was one day when they called and they said, he's got a truffle and he's made some fresh pasta, and would you like some? And I'm crying into the phone. I would say, yes, yes, please. And they'd say, okay, well, in about half an hour, we'll just put it on the wall and it'll be there for you. And I would go out into the little alleyway that ran down the side of my house, and there was a very high 7 or 8 foot wall that would divide our 2 properties. And there on the wall was a steaming bowl of the most beautiful, delicious linguine with truffle and a glass of red wine. And I felt fitter for things, let me tell you. And I have never, ever forgotten it. And then later on, I've remained very good friends with them to this day. And later on, he showed me how to actually make that. And so that is why that would be my dream starter.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you're right. That was the story we were hoping. Yeah.
That is incredible. I don't know if I'd leave a bowl of pasta on a wall in London.
Not these days. This was back in...
Yeah.
But it
Titanic
wasn't
days.
accessible. It was all hidden from the street.
Yeah, okay.
Between their sort of side gate and my side gate, we couldn't be seen
Not
from
hidden
the
from
road.
foxes, though, Kate.
Well,
Foxes
no, but
or stray cats.
Yeah, I know. Maybe
Why are
it'd
you
been...
trying to ruin the story?
Sorry.
You
but
are
that was
actually
my
trying
first
to
thought.
ruin it.
It was a beautiful
And then
story.
you're
It was a
gonna
nice-
say, what if
it
a
was
fox eats
it was a nice story.
You think Kate's going to walk into the alleyway, there's a Beatrix Potter type fox eating it, just standing on its hind legs with a waistcoat on, eating it with a fork.
Well, that'd be nice. I'd like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Better than
Quite a
an
nice
actual
comforting
fox.
image, actually.
Yeah.
A fox in a waistcoat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
the
fox
idea.
probably hasn't seen Titanic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
No,
mean? Just treat you
yeah.
like a normal person.
Yeah, that's right. You see,
It's good that it was hidden, I think, because with all the paparazzi, it would have been awful if there'd been a shot of you taking some pasta off a wall.
Well, especially when at the time they were all talking about, what recent diet I was on. and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
She's eating wall pasta.
Well, that's exactly what she's eating glue. Yeah. I mean, there was sometimes, anyway, let's not go into it, but that was a pretty weird time.
But that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And what a lovely thing for them to do.
Well, I think it just also, I mean, for me, you know, as I go through life, food becomes increasingly more important, whether it's just simply because you're hungry and you have to remember to sit down and eat something. But aside from anything else, it can be, it's comfort, complete comfort. And sometimes it can also be getting to know someone or connecting. And you know, when I'm really, really busy, I love nothing more than going, okay, right, on this Saturday or that Sunday, what are we going to eat? And there'll be a conversation about the food that we're going to plan and who's going to cook which bit of it and who's going to come for lunch. And, you know, there's something, you know, endlessly grounding for me about sitting down with a good meal.
Your dream main course?
Well, look, I know this is a Christmas episode and I know that we're talking about Christmas food anyway at some point today. But I have to be honest, my dream main course really would be Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
I do love Christmas. It's my favourite meal of the year.
Yeah.
I love it. My mum used to make the best roast potatoes. To this day, I sometimes reach for the phone to go and ring her and say, Mum, remind me, how long do you do the fat for before you tip the potatoes into the pan? And it's the great sadness to me is that I can't call my mum and say, how did you cook this? How did you do that? How long for? What temperature? Blah, blah. So I do love a really amazing Christmas dinner.
What are the essentials in the Christmas dinner for you?
Red cabbage.
Oh.
And every year I make it to my mum's recipe and every year I cry because of the smell. I'm like, she's not here anymore. And actually my older two children know that it's going to happen. So as soon as they start to smell the red cabbagey smells, they hover in the kitchen. She's going to go, and she's crying. And so I would never be able to go without that.
How's the red cabbage made? What else are you putting in the red cabbage?
Apple, red onion, cranberry sauce goes in as well towards the end. A little bit of brown sugar, plenty of cloves, cinnamon sticks, things like that.
I love red cabbage on Christmas Day.
Oh,
it's such a,
it
feels so Christmassy, but I'm not eating that the rest of the year.
No.
I would never touch it the rest of the year.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I do always think, why don't we eat turkey throughout the year? It's so extraordinary. I have taken to brining mine.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Which I think I could never go back on now.
Yeah.
It's the way forward for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you're wet brining the turkey or dry?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a huge tub that you're putting this in?
I've got a huge tub that I'm putting it in. This is correct. And the whole thing gets submerged into there and it always looks very alarming. Very, very alarming.
Yeah.
This sort of huge thing floating in a bunch of, you know, sort of autumnal leaves and rubble from, you know, from the gutter. But no, it's not rubble at all. So yeah, God, there's so many things that go in. Oranges, cloves, cinnamon sticks, always, of course, bay leaves, mace, tons of things, tons of peppercorns, salt, lots and lots of salt.
Yeah.
And about 5 litres of water. But it's become a bit of a ritual in our house, the brining of the turkey.
And are you doing this all by yourself?
No, my kids usually help, particularly my son, Joe. He loves to cook as well, so he tends to get involved now as well, which is fantastic.
You could make him do so much more this Christmas. You'd be like, I directed your bloody film.
Yeah, I directed your bloody film. You're doing the turkey. But I do always get roast potato fear because my mum was so brilliant at her roast potatoes. Luckily, my mother-in-law, Rosie, she is a fantastic roast potato queen. So if they're joining us, that's always her job, and I'm very grateful for it because they're delicious.
Yeah. I was going to say, how many people are over for Christmas? How many people?
It's usually a minimum of about 10, but it can be up to sort of 14, 16, depending on who's around.
Any other celebs ever tagged along for the Winslet Christmas dinner?
No.
Jack Black?
No.
You've had Jack Black around 1 year.
I haven't at all.
You want that to be true, right?
Yeah, I want it to be the holiday for real.
No, we're not really.
We
don't really. We're not really like that as a family.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some really great friends from the work that I've done over the years, but we don't really have celebrities come for Christmas.
Christmas is not for celebrities coming over.
I don't think it is.
Absolutely not.
If you were told 1 year your Christmas dinner is just you and the cast of The Holiday and that's it.
Oh my God.
Who do you want to sit next to?
Oh my God, I'm quickly thinking, I'm like, okay, don't make the answer controversial, Kate. What's going to come out? Who would I want to sit next to? I definitely want to sit next to Jack.
Yeah.
Because he's just gorgeous and hilarious and he's great fun. Also loves food.
How much has that changed the Christmas season for you since that film came out? Like every time it's Christmas, are you going, okay, people are going to come up and bring that up a lot more now?
Yes.
So Christmas is a bit
I
different.
do have to slightly pick the time of day that I go to Waitrose from about now, mid-November onwards, which is mid-November that we're actually recording this podcast.
Yeah.
From about now onwards, I do have to choose my time of day, because if I go sort of early evening or kind of middle of the day, people will stop me. And it is actually lovely. And it's something very unexpected. So it's mothers and daughters, mothers and teenage daughters or grown daughters. They will come to me and they say, "Oh, is it you?" And I'll say, "I think it might be me." And then they say,
it's such a difficult question.
And then they just say, we just have to say our favourite film. And I'm thinking, bless you, you think that you're the only people for whom this is a ritual. And actually there's this ritual that has emerged between mothers and daughters. And at some point over Christmas, they send everyone off to the pub and they sit down and they order a takeaway and they watch The Holiday, and then they have a big box of chocolates. And it is a thing. And it is so lovely. I have to say, it's very gratifying and heartwarming that happens,
But you still can go to Waitrose. It's not like the old days.
I go to Waitrose all the time.
Nobody's putting a brine turkey on a wall for you.
No. No, believe me, I go to Waitrose all the time. I do everything like normal. Take the tube, get the train, do all that. Yeah.
Personally, for me, I just like having something to do at a dinner table. If it gets a bit quiet, I can do the napkin.
Mr. Napkin
I can
Head.
do Mr. Napkin
Did you do the Mr. Napkin?
Yeah, of course. It's good fun,
I do Mr. Napkin
Yeah.
Head, especially when Bear, my youngest, who's about to turn 12, when he was little, we've got lots and lots of videos on phones of us doing My Name is Mr. Napkin Head all over the world in various different places whenever I was filming. And no, it's a good one. That was a Jude Law improvised.
Was it? Was it a riff?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's full of that's.
He's got to be
pure
pleased
Jude.
with that.
Yeah. Great life skill, Mr. Napkin. Yeah.
So we'd normally now ask you your dream Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
But that is your main course anyway.
It is really. I mean, I think if I was forced to kind of go off piste and really think of a main course that I'd go for, I mean, I do love a pie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do love a bit of pastry. I'm more pastry than filling, actually. So when people eat a pie and they leave the crust, I just think,
well, it's crazy. You're just eating like a casserole.
are you mad?
Yeah.
I mean, I would take a crust off a stranger's plate if I thought it was going to end up in the bin.
Yeah, I'm very serious.
You've never been more serious about anything.
Why are you?
Yeah, they're just eating a casserole.
Yeah, you're not
serious.
eating a pie then.
No, it's not.
Well, what are you doing? Yeah.
What's the point? Might as well have soup.
Yeah.
Might as well have soup or quiche.
Absolutely.
So
They
no,
probably wouldn't eat the crust of the quiche either. These
No, they
people, they're just
bloody
eating
wouldn't.
scrambled egg.
See, and I would take the crust off a stranger's plate of the quiche as well. Do love it. So yeah, I love a good old pie. I'd always reach for that in
What's
any
your
restaurant.
preferred filling for the pie?
Well, it's probably sort of a chicken and veg type vibe, something like that. I don't eat a huge amount of meat, actually. I'm talking about all the meat things, but I don't really eat a huge amount of meat. My husband, Ned, is completely vegan. And so I have had to become really good at doing lots of interesting vegetable dishes, and I don't think I'm actually very good at it, and I could certainly be better. So at Christmas, I do a pie day, actually. And so for Ned, I always make a lentil and mushroom and walnut Wellington,
Nice,
which he's very covetous of. And yet everybody's like, "Oh, what are you having?" And he's like, mine. I might need it for tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
You need to know what it is. Don't ask me what it is.
He can get a whole week out of that Wellington. But yeah, huge fan of pastry. And it also reminds me a bit of my grandmother, my mum's mum. She was a brilliant cook, and she was that generation of, like, you know, dripping bread and dripping, and if she got a cold, she would just eat half a raw onion and then she'd be absolutely fine, stinking, of course, but she'd be absolutely fine. And she used to go to the fishmonger every Friday. You know, back in the day when you would have meat once a week, and you'd have fish on a Friday, and the milk was delivered and the cream on the top was thick and the foil, and oh my God, I loved it. But she would get fish on a Friday, and she would make, sometimes just for herself, because it was a moment of zen for her, a beautiful piece of fish. And she would make 5 fat chips, just 5, always 5. Don't know why. Maybe it was because she could get 5 out of 1 potato.
Yes.
And I do have a memory of that. And then she'd always make a pie, usually some kind of pie over the weekend, and there would always be shortening in that pastry. And it was the absolute best. And I certainly can't make pastry the way that she did. Definitely not.
Well, we can have the pie that she's made the pastry if you want for the dream.
Yes, please.
And would you like your mum to have made the red cabbage as well for the dream?
Yes,
Christmas dinner?
and the potatoes.
And the potatoes,
yeah, definitely. But I would do my turkey, which is controversial. Because to say out loud, I think my turkey is better than my mum's turkey. But she would almost cry. She'd slice into that turkey. She'd go, oh, it's dry.
That's part of the ritual.
It's dry again. It's again. Raj, it's dry again. It's dry again. I'm going to have to give you leg.
I love that. What are you doing with your leftovers? I think this is a big Christmas question.
So I am not a fan of a turkey curry.
Mm-hmm.
I do love curry, but I'm not a fan of a turkey curry. Somehow that seems very ad hoc and doesn't make any sense to me. So I slice it all off. I don't leave it sitting on the bone for days in the fridge. I slice it all off, and I usually freeze some of it. And typically, I will make some sort of a bit huge vegetable and turkey soup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of stock.
Yeah.
Or the more popular name now is bone broth, but I'm a huge fan of a stock. So in fact, not very long ago, I did just make a very big soup at home using my frozen turkey stock from Christmas. So I freeze big batches of it and will use that a lot, especially if someone's feeling not very well.
Yeah.
I will often just cook up a big soup and that will go in there. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Got any? Are you having Christmas pudding? Are you having a dessert for your Christmas dinner?
So we're very, very lucky in that since we lost my mum, my dad met someone else, and he has a wonderful relationship with a great lady named Chris Gale. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous jazz singer, and she used to bake, and she had a little cake stall when she was younger, and she makes an extraordinary Christmas cake. So her contribution now is that she brings a Christmas cake. And actually I've started doing Christmas puddings less because I want for Chris's beautiful cake to always take a special place on the table. So we lean more towards Christmas cake now.
I'm so into Christmas cake now. I used to hate it when I was a kid.
Sure.
Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, I could not understand it.
No, I couldn't either.
Now.
And what's with the hiding of the money that you just know has been dropped a million times in the street and weed on? You just what? Why? No need for that. But I tell you something in our house though that we really can't go without is mince pies, because my husband Ned, he starts eating mince pies. I think at around Halloween, actually, if he can find them. He's just addicted. He sees it as his
Yeah, when you first see him on the shelves in shops, it's very exciting. It's mince pie season.
No, I start just finding them in the shopping basket. I don't know if I said not that we go shopping together actually, because that makes it sound quite sad, but we don't. But if he does do the shop, which is often actually, we're very good at sharing those jobs. He'll always come back with mince pies, and I'll be like, "What are these doing here?" It's the 2nd of November, and he's like, yes, I know, but it's cold outside and it's time for a mince pie.
And he's definitely had one on the way home as well.
1,000%, if not two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Krishnan and Guru Murthy with the custard tarts.
Yes, he eats them in the car.
Yeah.
So his wife doesn't find out. Your dream side dish is the next question, but obviously Christmas dinner's a hard one to add a side dish.
You're sorted for sides on Christmas dinner.
I feel like we're pushing more food on you.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, I do love bread sauce, so that's a side, but that's not really a side dish, is it? It's sort of something that you just kind of have to have. But a side dish, I mean, I don't know. Are we allowed side dishes that could also be considered starters?
Yeah,
type of thing.
Yeah,
I think so, because we've got pasta to start.
Yeah.
So I do love an oyster.
Yeah.
I do love it, but only the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I have two stories around my consumption of oysters, which is that forever I would think, oh my God, way too gynecological looking, can't be doing that.
Okay.
And then I was lucky enough when I was about 31, to be invited at a dinner. It was a small dinner in New York, because I lived in New York for 10 years. And it was a small dinner with a group of people who my husband at the time, Sam Mendes, he had just worked with Paul Newman and Tom Hanks.
Wow.
And somehow I found myself at having a meal with them. There were maybe 7 or 8 of us. Mm-hmm. And Paul Newman ordered 24 oysters. And I was sat beside him, and they were passed around. He's a very, very generous man. It's the only time I met him.
Yeah.
Passed around the table. Would you like an oyster? Would you like one? Would you like one? I'm thinking, oh God, he's going to offer me a fucking oyster and I'm going to have to say no. The plate came to me, and how about you? Would you like an oyster? And I said, no, thank you. And I looked at his eyes and I went, actually, yes. Because I thought, if I eat this oyster, I will always be able to say, Paul Newman gave me my first oyster. And I had the oyster and I loved it. And so on occasion, I will order oysters. And they're just delicious.
Do you think about Paul Newman every time you have an oyster?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
I do. And then I tell the story that I just told. But I don't think I've ever told it on a podcast. So
Yes.
Road to Perdition?
Exclusive.
Road to Perdition, exactly right.
That film, yeah.
Which was
Sorry.
a great film.
There's a point in the video where people will see that you mentioned that they work together, and I go like this. I don't want people to think
that you don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't interested in what you were saying.
He was sliding into his mind palace.
I remember what the film was. It was
a great film. Really great film.
Real good film.
And then years and years and years later, in 2011, at the beginning of the next chapter of my life, which I'm currently very, very happily immersed in, I met my husband Ned, and again we found ourselves in New York, and it was at the very beginning of our relationship, and Chelsea Market is a great market in the city, and there's an amazing fish shop in there, really spectacular. And Ned and I were just having one of those kind of early romantic days out, wandering around New York City. And I said, oh, should we get some oysters? And he said, well, I don't know if I've ever had oysters before. And I'm sure I then told him about the Paul Newman story. and we bought these oysters and we took them back to the flat where I lived at the time. And I know how to shuck oysters. And so I shucked all these oysters, and we had the oysters and had some champagne, and then we're still together. And moving on.
You got to say that.
Nice story.
So I do. So I
That's
thought,
a baller move on a date.
yeah.
If I was on an early date with someone and they were like, I'm going to shuck you an oyster, I'd be like, right, well, we're getting married.
Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant.
There was no question as to whether or not we were going to be together forever. I knew that as soon as I met him. I was like, oh, it's you.
That's
Oh,
nice.
it's you. I know it sounds super soppy, but I really did. I really did think that.
That's nice.
Good
That's
old
lovely.
Ned.
Well, you mentioned champagne a few times, but your dream drink?
To me, there is something very special about a glass of champagne. I don't drink champagne all the time. I actually am not. I love a drink, but I'm not a really big drinker. I don't like getting drunk. I don't know, the feeling of being out of control, and probably the fear that someone's going to take a photograph of me falling over and showing the world my knickers. Although I feel like I've shown the world my knickers a million times, given all the different parts that I've played. So I don't know what I'm worrying about.
Yeah. Well,
But you're in control of that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's wardrobe knickers.
It's not your knickers, that's wardrobe are giving you those knickers. So it's not as personal when they
I don't
see
know.
that
They
on.
probably were mine, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's the scoop.
Yeah. Spontaneous.
They were always Kate's knickers.
Yeah.
All of the film.
Knicker flashing. But I do like a glass of champagne, and I'm not a fan of what do you call it? Prosecco.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Prosecco, I have to be honest. It's just not the same. But I do love a glass of champagne. Not fussy. Love a bit of verve. Love it. Love Moet. I mean, but there always has to be a reason to have it.
I mean, are there people drinking it on the daily, or is there regular drink?
I'm sure
Because it would lose all sense of occasion.
It's really funny actually, because as I'm hearing myself say this, I can hear the voices of a couple of my friends saying, Kate, you don't drink champagne on occasion, you drink it whenever you're offered it. And actually, to be perfectly honest with you, that's also true.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah.
So that is your dream drink?
It is my dream drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
What sort of glass do you want it in?
Oh,
There we
babes,
go. He
I'm
loves
not
this.
fussy. I'm not fussy.
He's obsessed.
It could be a clean jam jar. It could be a plastic tub. I don't care. I'm not
Not in the
fussy.
brining tub. You can't have it out the brining tub.
No, but you could have it in a sort of a plastic picnic cup. Don't mind about that.
My favourite glass is done now.
What?
I had a favourite glass, it's done.
Broken?
Not broken. The boiler man used it to put all the sludge in it. Didn't even ask me.
That's very upsetting.
Didn't even ask me. Yeah, the boiler was acting up.
Yeah.
I was like, let me know if you need me. I'm in the other room. It's like, yeah, it's all done. It's like, yeah, basically had loads of sludge. You got to empty the condenser. I've done it. And then I looked and there's my favourite glass, just full of grey, disgusting stuff he'd got out the boiler.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
that's it.
Brother, just ask me. Just shout in the next room, hey, I need to empty the sludge. You got something that you're not going to drink out of every day.
Oh, my God.
Just use my glass. Use my favourite glass.
That's really upsetting.
Yeah, really upsetting. It's done.
I think, one thing I will say, I'm not precious about glasses because they get broken.
Yes.
They do all the time. And if people ever come to stay or they're staying in our house if we're away, I'll just say, don't worry about breaking anything. Nothing's precious. There's nothing out that, is, too important not to be broken, because I just don't think you can live like that. I don't want people to ever come into my house and feel like they can't touch anything.
But you'd say if you're coming over to maybe put sludge in stuff, maybe I'll leave out a sludge glass.
I'll leave out a sludge glass for you just in case you need to put some sludge in it. Yeah, I'd be clear about that.
A friend of ours, Stuart Laws, who's a comedian, had a routine that I was quite jealous of about the glass that you used to catch a spider with, and then you always remember that that's the spider glass.
It's a spider glass.
Yeah.
And then you give it to guests that you don't like.
We used to have, when we were growing up, we used to have what we would call a silver fish dish. And they were these kind of terrible little sort of 20p from a jumble sale, sort of small metal boat type dishes that, my mum would put, a blob of ice cream if we were lucky into. And I remember that there was actually, this little silver fish that would crawl around the skirting boards. There would always be silver fish that would sit in these dishes in the cupboard. So
they just hang out.
Yeah. So they would become the silver fish dishes.
And that was also your ice cream dish?
It was also the ice cream dish, yeah.
But
there was no backup, so we had to just plough on and continue to use the dish.
Wouldn't stop me from eating ice cream, you know that, probably.
Yeah.
if it was crawling with silverfish, I'd still be eating it if it was all over the scoops.
Did you have a sick bowl at home?
Yeah.
We had a sick bowl.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a sick bucket. It was orange, and it lived under the sink.
That's better for sick, I'd say, because like the bowl situation, you're like, are you going to use this bowl for anything else? Or
I just don't know if we had any bowls that were big enough, quite honestly. The only bowl that we would have had would have been the bowl of the salad spinner. That might have been big enough, and that was brown.
You don't want to be sick in a salad spinner, though.
You definitely don't. You definitely don't.
Jesus.
Don't want to be sick into a salad spinner, no. But no, we had an orange sick bucket. With a white handle.
Remember Stuart Laws, who I mentioned a minute ago?
Yeah.
Guess where he went recently and sent me videos of his whole trip there?
Oh, God.
I'm now going to pronounce it wrong, even though Montauk. The place in Eternal Sunshine that you go to. He went there and he was really excited about it because he knew I'd like it. So he sent me videos of his whole trip. He was at the station that you guys are at.
Oh, yeah.
Went to all the different locations.
It was it was brilliant out there. I loved it. And it was very, very cold. And it wasn't meant to snow. And there's that scene in it. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to tell you, do I? Where they wake up. They wake up in a bed on the beach in the snow. Yeah. Okay, wasn't meant to snow.
Wow.
Oh.
And we got there late one night. The whole crew and cast, we'd all travelled out there. Woke up in the morning, literally 3 foot of snow everywhere. So I called Michelle and I said, "Oh God, what are we going to do?" He was like, "What do you mean? This is fantastic. We are going to shoot in that." And then there we are. On the beach, in the bed, in the snow. Complete. I mean, I don't think you'll ever see that again anywhere in any film because what are the chances? And it was freezing, but yeah, completely amazing. I loved Montauk. There was a cafe that I would go to on the way to work, and I would always get a coffee and a really delicious, thick, doorstop-sized. It was in a sort of like an oatmeal raisin cookie with loads of lovely ground spices in it and nutmeg and things. And see, I love food. My kids always say to me, "You always remember the places we went by the food that we ate."
Quite right.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
I went on David Cross's podcast and I really annoyed him by asking him how many times a week does he think to himself, "I was in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind." And he was like, "Never. I don't think that."
Carrie, I'm making a birdhouse.
I quoted that to him on his podcast. He didn't remember. He remembered it. He wasn't impressed by me for shouting that. I did exactly what you've just done. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But have you seen, there's such brilliant scenes as well in Waiting for Guffman. You've seen Waiting. Please tell me you've seen Waiting for Guffman. Oh, my God. That's one of our favourites. There's that scene. "I've been coming out to this landing site. The temperature is always the same." It's he's genius. He's so talented.
Well, he doesn't like his genius being brought up to him, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
But it's fun to wind him up. He's a curmudgeon. So it was really fun, winding him up on his own podcast about how much I love Eternal Sunshine. He was not happy.
Not happy. Not having.
I would ask you how often you think I was in Eternal Sunshine, but I imagine probably not much.
Well, it's been coming up a lot recently.
Yeah.
And what I think is amazing is how that is turning into a bit of a cult classic, and that there's a whole other, a little bit like Titanic, there's another generation of young people who are discovering it, largely because of the music, because the soundtrack is so incredible. But that's, I never would have expected that, and people will quote to me that line, "I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind."
Yeah.
It is a great line written by the great Charlie Kaufman. She was such an extraordinary character, incredible, and those wigs, I mean, my God, they were all wigs. Those different colours. Yeah. I did get to keep a couple of them, which is pretty cool. It was just an amazing character to play, and I really did feel like I could be quite free and experimental, and learned a lot about myself as an actor through that process, and sort of being brave and just trying stuff. That thing of just making mistakes. That was positively encouraged by Michel Gondry.
Was there anything in particular that you did? That just been my last Eternal Sunshine question.
Go on. I don't believe you, but okay.
Now I can see why David Cross cut you off so quick.
He was furious.
I'm not going to cut you off, darling. Go on.
Was there anything particularly that you did that was taking a risk that made it in the film, and you were like, "I'm really glad that I did that"?
I think there's that line when in that hilarious sequence where the memories are erasing, and there's a bit where the Joel character is being bathed in the kitchen sink by his mum, and then where there's that perspective set where he's under the table. It's so genius. And when I went, "My crotch is still here, look, just as you remembered it," and I flashed my knickers, that was definitely spur of the moment.
Yeah, your knickers?
My
knickers
knickers?
or wardrobes?
No, they were wardrobe.
Wardrobe knickers.
I seem to remember they were pink. I don't think I'd ever wear pink knickers, not in real life.
Actually, I've got one more question, but
Okay, go on.
It links to another film and stuff.
Does it link to food, which is what this podcast is supposed to be about?
Come on.
Did you and Elijah Wood talk about being directed by Peter Jackson at completely different times in his career?
No, because he didn't. He was just about to go away. And
He hadn't done it yet?
No, he was just about to go and start shooting Lord of the Rings from memory. From memory, he hadn't gone yet.
Because you were like,
maybe I'm wrong about that.
Did you do his first film?
I am wrong about that. No, he had done some of it.
Oh, he'd done it.
Elijah had done some, and he was going back, I think, to do additional shooting or reshoots or something like that. And no, he didn't talk about it very much. He's quite a sort of, actors on the whole don't talk about other jobs to each other just because it's just the work. It's private. I mean, I'm sure you don't talk about, that show you did last night or last week.
All the time.
It's the only thing we talk about.
We were texting each other last night about our gigs as they were happening.
Saying how great you both were.
Yeah, of course.
And how funny you were.
And how much we love doing stand-up, and how we really respect our
audiences. And how you're never
audiences.
scared at all when you walk out onto the stage.
Yeah, and we love the reaction we get, and the audiences are perfect and they're lovely. And
Okay.
We're so grateful.
Great, weirdos.
Your dream dessert.
So I had to think long and hard about this because it is a toss-up between two, but I am going to go with my own apple crumble.
Love that.
And the reason for that is because I cook or bake my crumble topping first. So you get excited about a crumble and then you realise that half of it's stuck to the roof of your mouth because the sort of the flour and buttery sugar mixture actually has just steamed on the top and might have gone a bit crunchy in certain areas around the edges. So I part bake mine and it just goes all biscuity and lovely. So the crumble topping is baked separately on a flat baking sheet. And then I'll cook my apples a little bit first with some cinnamon and sugar. I feel like I've talked about cinnamon a lot. I guess I probably use it a lot.
It's the season for it though, right?
It's the season for cinnamon. And so then the apples will go in a baking dish and then I'll put my delicious crumbly topping all over the top, and that will go in for another 15 minutes. And I would have that. So Ned would have custard. He absolutely loves custard, and he says, flood it. But I actually love a big dollop of clotted cream.
Nice.
Proper Cornish clotted cream.
Shout out to Cornwall again.
Cornwall's really coming out.
Spend my life shouting out to Cornwall.
The problem is there's a lot of tin in the clotted cream in Cornwall.
Stop talking about it. Stop talking
because
about
the cows are drinking the water, aren't they? So they're drinking the tin and it's coming out in the milk.
You would be the one to be told stop talking about it.
Second time the tins come up. Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Stop talking about the
Eternal Sunshine? 50 times?
Eternal questions.
Eternal questions about tin and clotted cream.
Eternal questions of the obsessed mind.
Because you said that. You said there's tin in the water.
Well, I don't know if there is. I just said rumour has it.
Yeah. Rumour has it, Ed.
Sorry.
Rumour has it. So that would actually be my dessert. And that was a tough one for me because I am such a fan of cheese. So I could easily go with a great cheese board.
Well, that's good that is... that's
James gets really angry if guests
escape.
pick a cheese board instead of dessert.
Yeah.
Whereas I love it. I'm the cheese boy.
Are you?
And when you
And what's your favourite cheese? I am curious, actually.
The thing is, I would probably go with a British cheese, and my go-to would just be a very, very mature cheddar. I think you can't beat a very mature cheddar.
Yeah.
But then also,
Have you tried Sussex Charmer?
No.
Oh, it's chalky, it's crumbly, it's sharp, it's delicious.
I like the crumble. I like that.
And it's sold it's like a sort of almost like a wax paper wrapping, which I love. And it comes in a perfect cube.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's delicious,
Okay.
Sussex Charmer.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
Every year for Christmas, my mother-in-law buys me the Godminster cheddar.
Nice.
Like all the varieties. So they do a truffle one that is out of this world,
Know
and then
it well.
a chili one, and
Yeah.
then just the normal one. I love that stuff. But then love a Stilton as well, Colston
Yeah.
Bassett Stilton, obviously.
I do too.
And then sure, Manchego, Comte, an
Nice.
aged Comte, lovely.
Oh, we
Yeah.
could do a whole separate episode on cheese.
Yeah, we should do. I mean, you can
feel
pick
it
cheese.
coming
You
on.
can pick cheese for your dessert if you wanted.
No, I'm not going to do that. He's making a face.
Yeah.
We can directly into this camera.
But years
for the
ago,
whole of this
I
cheese
worked in a
chat.
delicatessen, but a proper delicatessen with beautiful Epicurean foods. And
James Kate's telling a story.
I'm
now,
telling a story.
Hello.
You're not
Sorry.
listening.
I was looking
He's
into the camera.
bored. He's bored of me.
I was furious.
I won't talk to you about Eternal Sunshine anymore.
Oh, tell me about the delicatessen.
But I used to work on the cheese counter in this delicatessen,
Dream
and
job.
I did get to know all my cheeses, and love a good cheese.
You can have a cheese board after the meal if you like.
Yeah, but then
Have
I'd
your
be
apple
too full,
crumble.
and I think I'd prefer the crumble first.
We can just leave it on the side, and you can just nibble on it later on.
On a wall.
There's a
Put it on the wall.
delicious French
Put it on a wall
cheese
for you.
called what did you say? Put it on the wall.
Put it
Put it on the wall
We'll
for
put it
you.
on the
Little
wall
cheese
for
board
you.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Could do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a delicious French cheese called Charros that I absolutely love, which is it's almost the colour of a goat cheese with a rind that is also pale like a goat cheese, but it's not. It's made with cow's milk, and it's not as kind of stinky and runny as a camembert. It's really smooth, delicious with like a sort of a fruit bread or something like that. It's really delicious.
I'm so excited for Christmas now because I'm going to go absolutely cheese crackers.
Yeah.
I can't
You
wait.
know cheese crackers?
I'm going to go crackers and cheese crackers. Truffle brie.
Oh yeah, God, you've got to have a nice triple cream truffle brie.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
I do like that.
Just yes, I can't wait to.
But this crumble also sounds delicious, and I like that it's your crumble. Because like you say, your mum's roast potatoes were the best. Do you think the crumble is going to be the thing that you pass down to your children? They're going to be like, my mum's crumble was the best.
Well, there is something else that my children would prefer I pass down to them, which is it's a very decadent bread and butter pudding that they do request that I make at Christmas as well. And this has become a new thing. We were in Vancouver for Christmas several years ago, and in this particular area of Vancouver, there's a wonderful donut shop, and it's quite a famous donut shop. I don't particularly eat donuts, but these things are so good.
What's it called?
It's called Honey's Donuts, this
Oh, I've not
donut
been
shop,
there.
and it's in a tiny little place called Deep Cove in Vancouver, in North Vancouver. And the owners very kindly, when we were there, gave us a huge box of probably, 12 or 16 donuts. And I really thought, my God, what are we going to do with these things? I made the 2-day-old donuts into bread and butter
I just
pudding.
know James is losing his mind.
It was unbelievably delicious.
God,
And now my kids do say, Mum, come on, you got it. And now in England, we don't have Honey's Donuts, of course. But, panettone, leftover croissants or cruffins, a cruffin, the big sort of swirly things with the kind of crusty top with the sugariness all over them. So rather than going with actual bread, I will try and find some sort of cake and put that into this very, very decadent bread and butter pudding. And they would. In fact, last year my daughter was like, "You're going to have to show me how to do it."
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Were all the donuts like plain donuts?
No. So some of them have a slight caramel topping. Some of them have chocolate. Wow. And I was like, okay, just break them up, shove it in.
So every spoonful you're getting like, you might get a different flavour donut.
Different flavour donut in every bite.
That's pretty special.
Pretty delish.
Yeah.
I think I'm adding that to my dream menu. haven't even eaten it.
Really, really, like ridiculously good.
I always think we should do like an episode where we only can make our menus off of things that other guests have picked.
Yeah.
And I'd pick that.
Yeah.
I'll make it for you.
But I don't think it's on Kate's menu. That's not going to happen. It's not on Kate's menu.
No, I will. I will.
Yeah, we've had people come on this podcast before.
And they've said they'll make me. And they never make me the bloody.
They make promises. They say, let's go for a cocktail at that place.
I'm a woman of my word.
Okay.
Cocktails, you see, I'd have to go for a Negroni if we were going out for a cocktail. Although someone did make me a very, very strong one this summer and I loved it. And I loved it so much that I had a second one. And the next day, I swear to God, I thought I had brain damage. Honestly, I was like completely, I felt like a bag of smashed crabs. I was like, what the hell is going on? What's happened to me?
I love that. I'll be using that. That's the main thing I'll be taking from
smashed crabs.
Bag of smashed crabs.
Absolutely loved it. Okay, I'm going to read you your menu back now.
Go on.
See how you feel about it. By the way, you've said French airlines today and French cheeses, and I was trying to come up with a paint me like your French girls thing, and I couldn't do it. And just so you know, I did try.
I'm not going to do that line for you. I'm not going to do that line.
No.
It was a good try, though, James.
Nice.
Just so you know, I tried and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, okay.
I'm not on my best form today. Okay. Still sparkling water, you want still tap water from Cornwall. Poppadoms are bread you would like warm, crusty bread and breadsticks with thick butter.
Yeah.
Starter, pasta with truffle and shaved parmesan. Lovely story. Main course, Christmas dinner with your own turkey, your mum's roast potatoes, mum's red cabbage, with bread sauce, with chicken and vegetable pie as well, with grandmother's pastry, and Christmas cake. Side dish, oysters, the little ones. Drink, champagne, dessert, your own apple crumble with Cornish clotted cream.
Yep.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
It does actually, doesn't it?
It sounds really
nice.
Nothing overly fancy, apart from, well, no, actually, I lied. The truffle and the oysters and the champagne. What am I talking about? I'm somebody I didn't think I was, clearly.
Yeah, but you've still got the Christmas dinner in there and the red cabbage.
And the pie.
Yeah, and the pie.
Good
I think it's a good mix.
Grounding foods.
And look, it's mid-November, like we say. It's the first time I've felt Christmassy this year.
Oh, good.
And that's because of your menu.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel quite Christmassy, actually. And there's a little Christmas cake, Christmas tree next to you.
Yeah.
That's not a Christmas tree. It's a plastic thing with Tipex on the ends of it to look like snow.
Yeah, Benito, what the hell are you playing at?
Benito, what is your problem?
What the fuck are you putting that next to Kate Winslet for? Is
little gingerbread house.
It's a little sweet gingerbread house. You see, that's designed for a tea light. One of those. Why are they called tea lights?
I don't know, actually.
They're teeny tiny. Why are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're rubbish, aren't they?
They are rubbish, and they always go out.
Yeah.
It's the battery operated ones you have to get. But I do like a little sort of house with a little candle in it.
Yeah, that's a nice touch, actually. Oh, and the screen says Christmas special on it. I didn't even notice that.
I didn't realise that. He's put
he does so much for us, and we don't.
But why
care.
is there a chopped octopus leg?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
not right.
That's not Christmassy, is it?
That's not Christmassy at all.
I know it's a food podcast, but it's a Christmas special.
Yeah, think about like Christmas food.
Don't have chopped octopus leg for Christmas.
Maybe they do in Spain or something, but is that a cabbage or a brain, Benito?
It's Brussels sprout, I reckon.
It's a poo, actually.
It's a poo. It's a shit. You put a shit in an octopus
shit.
leg. Merry
We've
Christmas.
got Kate Winslet on the podcast. You put shit on the screen.
It is a petrified poo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry. So sorry, Kate,
That's
for what
all
he's
right,
done
I don't
today.
mind.
Sorry, Kate.
That's okay.
We were good though, right?
You were great. You were great.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah.
You were nice. You were relaxed. You were kind, and you were funny.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah.
Didn't ask too many questions about Eternal Sunshine.
I thought I was quite funny.
You were
Yeah,
very
I thought
funny.
you were.
Was I surprisingly funny?
No, you've been funny in film.
Yeah.
Did you not know what you were going to get, and you're relieved to discover that?
No, I think I
am
knew
funny?
you'd be a funny and warm and open interviewee.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've seen you in.
I think so. I was never worried about when you were coming in.
Okay.
No.
that's-
Sometimes
that's
people
good.
coming in, we're like, I don't know how this
Quite
is going to
worried.
go. And sometimes we're right.
And when we finish recording, you're going to tell me who was the scariest person.
Robert De Niro.
it was Robert De Niro.
Oh, I don't think he's scary, is he?
No, not scary, just intimidating as a prospect.
Intimidating, yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yes, I do. I can see that.
That
And
might
he's-
be a surprise to the guests,
And he was very
to the guests, to the listeners.
very comfortable with not giving answers.
Oh, Oh, that can maybe, okay.
It was a funny episode, though, because our listeners know us and they like to hear us flail sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's, sorry
well,
to
there
tell you, but
hasn't been
that
a
was an
hint
option.
of flailing today.
We've not needed to flail.
Good.
It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming to the Dream Restaurant, Kate, and Merry Christmas.
My pleasure.
Kate.
And you. Thank you very much.